Prepare for productivity pandemonium. One simple formula helps teams become nearly 600% more productive than their competition. And no, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about working obsessively on what matters. Your competition spreads their effort like peanut butter across 100 activities, giving each pathetic piece maybe 24 minutes of attention weekly. You'll be hammering the handful that drive real results with the force focused of freight train. Hello, I'm Todd Hagopian, the original Stagnation Assassin, the CEO of Stagnation Assassins, and the executive director of the Stagnation Intelligence Agency. As always, this will be a fast-paced, bold, in-your-face episode where we will help teach all the aspiring stagnation assassins out there how to declare war on stagnation. If you have issues with working harder than ever but achieving less than ever, in this podcast you will discover the Karelin Method that multiplies productivity through mathematical magic, strategic battles that channel energy into victory, and the energy ROI metrics that turn effort into exponential results. Picture this productivity purgatory. You're running around like a caffeinated chipmunk, checking off tasks, attending meetings, responding to emails, feeling furiously busy. Meanwhile, your focused competitor just ate your lunch, dinner, and tomorrow's breakfast because they understand the math of domination. And here's the horrifying reality. I've witnessed most companies spread their effort across 100 different activities, giving each one microscopic attention. That's like trying to dig 100 shallow holes instead of one deep well. You will die of thirst, surrounded by your own futile efforts. I've seen executives whose calendars look like a scattered shotgun blast. Little time here, little time there, no concentrated effort anywhere. They're working 50-hour weeks, but they're spending maybe 8 hours on activities that actually drive results. That is not productivity. That is professional pantomime. The average executive wastes about 80% of their time on activities that generate less than 20% of their value. They're in meetings about meetings, creating reports that nobody reads, managing processes that shouldn't exist. It's like watching someone try to fill a swimming pool with a teaspoon. Technically, they're moving water, but they'll be dead before they make a difference. There is this manufacturing company where engineers spent enormous energy on products that barely move the needle. One analysis showed that they invested around 80% of their technical time on items that generated less than 10% of the profit. That's like hiring Gordon Ramsay to cook ramen noodles. Criminal waste of capability. But here's what makes me want to scream. These people think they're being productive. They point to their packed calendars. I've done this. They point to their packed calendars, their long hours, their endless task lists as evidence of effort. That's like a hamster showing off how fast the wheel spins. Impressive motion, zero progress. The work-life balance cult makes this worse. They've convinced people that working more than 40 hours a week is unhealthy. So now we have armies of people. These employees are efficiently doing the wrong things for exactly 40 hours. Congratulations, you have optimized irrelevance. I read about a sales team that made about 100 calls daily, but only about 20 to actually qualified prospects. The other 80, random dials to fill activity metrics. They were literally being unproductive at being unproductive. I've done this. I've called when I know people won't hang up or won't pick up. Their competitors, they made 50 calls a day, all to hot prospects at the right time, and they crushed them in closed deals. Another company tracked their meeting time and discovered something nauseating. Executives spent around 23 hours a week in meetings, where maybe 3 hours produced actual decisions or value. That's like paying for a Ferrari and using it as a very expensive chair. Time to unleash the Karelin Method and multiply your productivity like a mathematical monster. Named after the legendary wrestler who once said, "None of the people who question me train as hard in a single day as I train every single day of my life." Here's the formula that creates 600% productivity. 1. You do have to work hard. Work 20% more hours. You go from 40 to 48. Nothing crazy. 2. You have to be 20% more efficient. Eliminate the time wasters, outsource, use AI, systematize, or automate. And you focus 80% of your time on the 20% of activities that drive the most results. That's the third part. Let's do the devastating math. Your competitor works 40 hours a week across 100 activities. That's 24 minutes per activity a week. So about 8 hours on their top 20 activities. You're working 48 hours, focusing 80% on the top 20. That's nearly 39 hours on key activities. That's almost 500% more on what matters. Add in 20% efficiency gains, and you're approaching 600% more productivity on the crucial tasks. One company I heard about implemented this, and the results were ridiculous. They identified their 20 highest impact activities, everything from key customer relationships to critical product improvements. They killed or delegated everything else. Revenue jumped up 35% in 6 months, while everyone worked less frantically, but more intensely. Strategic battles amplify this effect. Instead of vague goals like increase sales, create specific battles like dominate the Northeast market or crush competitor X in product category Y. This military mindset channels energy like a laser. A friend's team won after they went from scattered efforts to focused fury and tripled their market share in one product category. Energy ROI metrics make the invisible visible. They track value created per hour invested. One executive discovered that his weekly staff meeting cost about $5,000 in salary time, but generated maybe $500 in value. He killed it immediately. Redirected those 10 person hours to customer visits. ROI went from negative to about 1,000%. Orthodoxy smashing unleashes hidden productivity. There's a company that realized their mandatory reports took 20 hours a week to create, but nobody actually used them. They stopped creating them. Nobody noticed for 3 months. Those 20 hours redirected to product development generated 2 new revenue streams. And here's the brutal brilliance. When you focus this intensely, you don't just do more, you do better. Deep focus creates insights that scattered attention never could. It's like the difference between a magnifying glass and sunlight spread out. It warms, focuses, and then it burns. But here's the counterintuitive key. This isn't about working yourself to death. It's about working with warrior-like wisdom. Those extra 8 hours, they're not scattered across everything. They're laser focused on leverage points. You're not busier. You're more brutal in your effectiveness. A software company applied this to their development team, and instead of working on 20 features simultaneously, they picked 3 features that their customers desperately wanted. 6 weeks later, those 3 features drove about 40% revenue growth. The other 17 features, nobody missed them. So, as always, remember to visit todagopian.com for some awesome free content on slaying stagnation. Or go straight to the source and visit the world's largest stagnation slaughterhouse at stagnationassassins.com. Make sure to sign up for updates on both. Follow me on the socials. Buy our books. Do all the things. You know what to do. But most importantly, tune in next time as we continue to declare war on stagnation. Your productivity transformation starts now. Your homework today is to list your 100 activities. Identify the 20 that drive 80% of your value. and then schedule 80% of next week focused only on those 20. Track your results and compare them to last month. When you see the multiplicative impact, you will never spread your effort like confetti again. Ask yourself what would happen if you became 600% more effective at what actually matters. Your competitors already know the answer. They're using it to destroy you. Thanks again, folks. Tune in next time.